Hi, everyone. Welcome to Reputation Matters, the online course that follows the class that we gave at CBC Kansas City this year of the same name. My name is Bash Hallow. I'm going to be your instructor for today. I'm a partner with Hallow Tassiva Consulting and a certified veterinary practice manager and licensed veterinary technician. I want to thank Demand Force for making the class that we had at Kansas City happen, and as well as this online continuing education course. As a reminder, you can print out a certificate at the end of the 4 modules that can be used towards your continuing education requirements for certification or recertification as a veterinary practice manager. In today's brief module, we're going to talk about the 5 qualifying elements of online presence. The first is visibility. If you're going to spend time being online, then you want to make sure that you appear in this part of the search engine results. This is called the top part of the fold of the page. It's the most valuable piece of real estate online. If you don't appear on this portion of the search engine screen, you're already going to lose 33% of your prospective audience, because research shows that that 33% will not scroll past what it is you see right here on this screen to any of the other search engine results. The next qualifying element is identity. If you spend a lot of energy in having an online presence, then it's important that when people do find you, they know a little bit about what makes you uniquely relevant and why they should select you over any of the other search engine results that they're seeing. This poor animal practice has no identity online. They more or less just have a placeholder for them online. That's not what you want to do. You want to make sure that when people see you online, they see why you are so special. They see the great service and care that goes on in your practice. They see your mission come alive, and they also see your great team at work. If your identity is what you say about you, then your reputation is what other people have said about you in the past. The search engines like reviews. And whether or not you have a lot of reviews, good or bad, can definitely help you in search engine rankings. Engagement is the 4th qualifying element of online presence. Engagement refers to the dialogue that's happening in the present that you're having with those people that are interested in your business. I want you to take a look at this Facebook page of Bangor Humane Society. They're doing an excellent job of engaging their clients. When you have a moment outside of this lesson, go to their Facebook page and scroll through and read some of the dialogue that's happening. Note how often that Bangor Humane Society is talking back to the people that are talking to them online. And then take note of something extremely important: the number of shares that this content is getting. Search engines' job is to connect people's questions with the most relevant answers out there. How would search engines know what's most relevant? Well, one of the things that search engines presume is that if material is being shared a lot, then it must be of interest to a lot of people, and it therefore is relevant probably to a lot of people's questions. Sharing is a big objective for any person that is building out an online presence. Citation is the last qualifying element of online presence and is probably the most important. There are 2 aspects of citation that are important. As I said earlier, search engines don't understand what is and is not relevant like a thinking human being would. They have to rely upon outside cues. And one of the things that they look for is how many other sites online refer to you and demonstrate that what it is you have to say is important. So if you take a look at this diagram, I have things like Trupanion, CareCredit, LinkedIn, Reddit, Bing, Google+. All of these sites have the ability to cite your website on their reference materials that live on their websites. All of that is indicative to Google that you are meaningful. When you're thinking about building out your online presence, you should think about the relationships that you have with other online entities. whether or not you are citing them, and whether or not they are citing you. Here's the second element of citation that's important. Here's a search for "I have a dream." When I type that in, Google believes that I'm looking for Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. How does Google know that? Well, part of it is that Google is matching "I Have a Dream" with the titles of all of these other sites, but that's not all that Google is doing. Google is taking a look at the sites that this material that's shown in this results refers to in its citations, and it's also looking at all of the other things online that are referring back to this material. That helps Google understand when I type in "I have a dream" that I'm referring to the "I Have a Dream" speech by Martin Luther King. If I were to change that search to "I have a dream each night," you can see that Google doesn't give me the Martin Luther King speech, but gives me a bunch of other sites that have to do with dream interpretation. You can see that it's not relying only on "I have a dream" embedded in the title. If it were, I would get results for Martin Luther King. Instead, what Google is doing is it's looking at the sites that these websites shown in the search results are referring to, and all the other websites that are referring back to this content as a way of understanding what the content is all about. All right, so that's online presence in a nutshell. We talked about how important it is to be visible, how important it is to have an identity so that if people do find you, they know a little bit about who you are and why you're uniquely relevant. We talked about the importance of what people have to say about you in the past, whether or not they're talking to you in the present, and also whether or not outside entities on the web are referring to you and which entities you are referring to in the World Wide Web. Those are the 5 qualifying elements of online presence. We're now going to take a quick quiz to make sure that you've retained the information and to learn it a little bit better. And then we'll see you back for the next module.